And what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I am coming at you on this Thursday. And first and foremost, as always, want to send out positive blessings and vibrations to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we know that Lakers Nation is going to need those positive vibrations and blessings to be sent their way after the atrocity that occurred on yesterday as the Lakers took on the Sacramento Kings. I said it would be a close game. I said the Lakers would prevail. I was right that it was a close game, but I was wrong that they would prevail. And coming into the game, they announced right before the game that Sabonis would not be playing. And I said, oh, yeah, let me go ahead and get the money out for the straight up. And I just want to thank the Lakers right now for making me lose that money. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But let's dive right into the game. So, the Lakers' final score was the Kings 116 to 111. We could talk about all the things that went on during the course of the game. We could talk about how the Lakers were up by 14 points to end up eventually losing the game. We could talk about how they were outscored in the second and third quarters and even the fourth quarter to give this game away that they really had in the bag, being up by 14 so early on and then letting them take the lead and then taking it back. But in the fourth quarter, they just could not sustain the lead. And then you hear people like a Skip Bayless that will come on the air and say, why isn't LeBron driving it at the end? Oh, LeBron didn't have enough in the fourth quarter. First, let's get this out the way. LeBron James has scored more fourth quarter points than anybody in the league this year. And I'm not just talking about averages. I'm talking about total. And that is with him having missed, 12 to 13 games, I do believe. So let's not talk about what LeBron James brings in the fourth quarter, first of all. Second of all, when we talk about that fourth quarter, people like Skip Bayless is going to continue to say, LeBron James needs to just put his head down and get to the basket. Now, if this was 25, 26-year-old LeBron James, we saw what he did in Detroit to get Cleveland to the finals a number of years ago. We know what he's capable of doing, of getting to the basket, and still probably the best driver of the basketball to this day. But when you're 38 years old and the pace of the game has actually increased and people want to say, well, that helps, blah, 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 blah. Man, to be 38 years old and to run up, I can barely go up and down these stairs 2 or 3 times. And I'm up tired. You understand me? So don't get it twisted and think that LeBron James could just drive the basket at will in the fourth quarter. Maybe if he had an AD to take some of that offensive burden away, maybe if AD was in the game and had giving the Lakers the shot in the arm that they need on defense, this game wouldn't even been close if AD plays. Especially if AD was giving you what he gave you before he gave out and before he left with the injury. And people keep saying this and that, but I'm going to go ahead and tell the truth. I haven't been pushing the panic button, but the Lakers are, 25 games, 5 games out of they're 20 and 25. 5 games below 500. But if you still look at the standings, nobody is really beginning to separate themselves. Phoenix Suns are lollygagging around. The Minnesota Timberwolves, the LA Clippers are trending in the wrong direction. The Golden State Warriors are barely holding on to 6. The Portland Trailblazers are slipping down. The Utah Jazz, they're back and forth every day. So you just never know. All the Lakers need to do is beat who is in front of them. They recently went on a 5-game winning streak. That is something that they're capable of doing again, especially once Anthony Davis gets back. But he just needs to get back. They keep saying that he is ramping it up and he's running in practice and he's getting shots up. Well, at this point, damn, what does it need? What do you need? Let's just hope the Lakers don't get ran out of the gym against Memphis on Friday night. I, for one, think it's going to be a closer contest than what most people think, only because of matchups. Of course, Ja Morant is always going to do his thing, but he gets a lot of good picks set from Steven Adams. One thing about it is, though, Thomas Bryant, at this point, I do have to bring this up. I would have liked to see Damian Jones get some minutes. He is on the roster and he is capable. I know he played himself out of playing time on some earlier games this year, but he wasn't like he was just terrible. And I know Thomas Bryant came in and separated himself what he was doing on the offensive end by stretching the floor, hitting threes and whatnot. But if you're telling me that Thomas Bryant is a better rim protector than Damian Jones, then you're sadly mistaken. Damian Jones gives you as much height, length. Now, he did get bodied in some earlier games, but you had him in there going up against, I think it was Aiden maybe, and, Embiid. I can't remember. It was some big mismatch. But of course, when it comes to strength, he's not going to be able to do that. But when you're talking about playing drop back coverage and pick and roll, then I would most definitely take him over Thomas Bryant. And I think that's really how teams keep getting back into the game, because, no knock on Thomas Bryant. Everybody only wants to see one part of the game and say, oh, well, he's filling in for AD nicely. He keep getting you 15 and 10. And I know I sung his praises. So, I know how quickly the tables will turn. So don't come for me unless I send for you. But what I'm trying to tell you all is the more I watch the game, the more I take note of what he's doing on the defensive end of the floor. It makes it far too easy for people to get to the rim. Go back and pull up the statistics of what the opponent's points per game have been in the paint lately when you had Thomas Bryant out there trying to rim protect. Now, once Anthony Davis gets back, that's going to be a whole nother story. That's going to be a whole nother story. So, I mean, it is what it is. I know people pray for the downfall of LeBron James, but you got to look at it, including this season, last season, and the season before that. How many games is Anthony Davis going to continue to miss? How many games is he not going to be available in the playoffs? So more so into the game, LeBron James, he still did what he did. He didn't have a fabulous game. He did start the game off pretty well. He was looking good. I think he had 16 or 18 in the first half. He ended the game with 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists. He was 11 out of 25, which puts him under his season average and career average of 50-some%, 51, 52%. He is at that. Last night was only 44%, and a lot of that was to do with the three-pointers that he took. Again, he did not have a very good night from three-point land. He was only 2 out of 9, which only puts you at 22%. I know last game you was 5 for 10, but at some point, and I'm going to get around to, how I think LeBron James did play a part in that loss. And, I always have to lay the blame, and I know plays, games, there's a lot of plays in each game, and you can't just go down to one play, but I'm going to tell you a couple of plays that I thought were very detrimental to the Lakers in the fourth quarter. To me, first of all, LeBron James did help get the game tied up after they had lost the lead and came back, and it kind of went back and forth in the fourth. But then on the next play, with under a minute left, you go in and the game is tied. All you need is a defensive stop, then you can come up with the victory if you can come back down and score. But instead, you allow Harrison Barnes to get an and one. Now, when Harrison Barnes got an and one on that play, I can't remember who it was who was actually beat on the play, but Russell Westbrook came in with the help. And when he came in with the help, he reached in. And when he reached in, that made it an easy play for Harrison Barnes to convert for the three-point opportunity. And I don't know if anybody else heard it, but you could clearly, when they went to break and they were on the bench at the timeout, LeBron saying something to Russ about don't reach in, and telling everybody don't reach in. You're making it too easy for them to get and ones and stuff. If you're going to foul, make sure you foul to where they're not going to get a basket, or keep your hands up, and not reach in. That's something you definitely don't want to do if you get caught with your hands in the cookie jar. But at the same token, if you go look at free throws, Westbrook missed, I think 4 or 5 free throws overall. LeBron, I think, was 7 or 8 from the free throw line. He shot pretty good from free throw last night, but, by losing by 5 points. But I have to come back to the play of LeBron James coming back down and shooting another 3. Now, Will, to his credit, they tried to set up a play, even a pick. He tried to get to the hole. They came and double teamed him. They just couldn't let the play. He called for an ISO. He tried to get to the hole again. For whatever reason, I don't think he trusted his fadeaway mid-range at that particular moment, because they were down by 3 and he could have cut it to 2. And I think that's what the thought was, and what Ham probably suggested for them to do is for LeBron to get his way to the basket like he had really been doing at ease. But, like I said just before, fatigue will set in, and that's not going to always be the easiest thing to do. So, he tried to get to the basket. They came with the double. He tried to pass out of the double. Instead of passing out the double, he really wanted it. He dribbled back out. He tried to create space and get to the basket again. It wasn't there. You could tell he kind of thought about doing a fadeaway, but I don't know. Maybe he just thought the 3-point would be a better chance at this point since he's not getting what he wanted, which was get into the rim. I think he had made up in his mind that's what he was going to do. So once he worked so hard on the offense and he brought it back down, the shot clock was winding down, he decided to take a three. I would have liked for him to pass the ball to Russ and maybe get something else going. I think it was maybe like 10 seconds or so left on the shot clock, so it wasn't a huge rush. But instead, he opted to shoot the three. Of course, he missed, like I said, only 2 out of 9 from three. He missed that 3-point shot. And lo and behold, Sacramento goes back down. They score. They're up by 5. I think they didn't score. Maybe they got fouled. They missed a free throw. Whatever it was, they was up by 4. Then you come back down the court. They execute a good play. LeBron gets the ball to Kendrick Nunn, who really, I think this could have been called a foul. He was in his, I won't say landing area, but it could have been called a foul. You see these plays called a foul a lot. But at the end of the day, I don't think he made much contact. And, of course, Kendrick Nunn hits the 3, cut it to 1. And Kendrick Nunn, maybe if he wasn't too busy crying to the referee, he could have got back down court. But instead, it was a pill out. The Lakers were not on their P's and Q's, having after made the shot, being down by 1. It was like 7 or 8 seconds left. If you foul immediately, then you give yourself a chance because they could miss a free throw or they could miss both free throws. Or even if they make both free throws, they're only up by 3 and you can make another 3 and send it to overtime and still have a chance. But instead, the player leaked out. I can't remember who it was. One herder, I can't remember. Whoever it was, they leaked out. Trying to remember. I don't know if it was Holmes, one Harrison Barnes. It was somebody. But whoever it was leaked out. And then Max Christie, I know you're young, but you cannot make these rookie mistakes. You sat up here and you clear path fouled this man and gave him 2 shots and the ball back, ultimately ending the game. Because even if you would have just let him go, let the man dunk. If you let him dunk, then guess what? They only up by 3. And then you still got a chance with plenty of time on the clock. Now, if he ran down up under the goal and he's about to dunk or is going to dunk, then you can go ahead and try to foul if you think, it's necessary. But the last thing you want to do is clear path foul somebody in a situation like that. So that's just something that you learn from. But I have to, I have to bring up Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder, 11 days ago when they played Sacramento, had a good game. Had the game-winning free throws, had, I believe, maybe 30 points, one of his best games of the year. But Dennis Schroeder had a few good games in a row, but then he disappeared. So I don't understand how he plays these good games. I don't know if it's mentally with him and Russ having argued over playing time, because I don't know if you all saw it. They said Russ was into it with Handy leading into the halftime the other day, I think in the Houston game, over playing minutes and whatever. And Russ brushed it off after the game and said that it really wasn't anything to it. But at the end of the day, I don't know. It seems like Schroeder effectiveness has gone away. And, of course, there were some opportunities when Pat Bev was wide open and he could have kicked it out to a 3 for him, but elected to go to the hole and missed the shot anyway. So Schroeder giving you nothing, 2 out of 6, only 6 attempts, 33%, only 5 points. That is not going to cut it. Kendrick Nunn was the only bright spot really other than LeBron, 14 points. He was a plus 18. And LeBron was a minus 16 on the court. So that lets you know the combinations of what they were having with LeBron was not necessarily the best combinations. And I think a lot of that had to do with LeBron being on the court with Thomas Bryant. And the Lakers continue to start games with Thomas Bryant, even though they did get off to an early lead. But that was more so when the second unit came in and Russell Westbrook was leading the charge with none other than Wayne and Gabriel. So the minutes need to flip-flop, man. And, I'm just telling the truth. And if you notice, Wayne and Gabriel's been getting the minutes at the end of the game. He needs to get them at the beginning of the game. I don't care about confidence. You got to do what you got to do, because you have to be able to play pick and roll defense in this league, especially in the 5 spot, if you're going to be successful. And if you even notice in portions of the game, Darvin Ham even went small ball, putting LeBron James at the 5 spot. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, at the end of the day, the Lakers have to do better. They're going to play Memphis. We'll see how they play. I still think they could match up pretty decently with Memphis. Desmond Bane is going to do his thing. Defensively, he's going to lock down Pat Bev. Is going to try to do what he can against John Morant, I would imagine. But nobody can really hold Ja. And Steven Adams set some damn good picks, so the Lakers better be prepared. And like I said, Wayne and Gabriel will probably be way too small for Steven Adams, so you're going to have to pick your poison with Thomas Bryant, just because Thomas Bryant is not going to be capable of, especially as quick as Morant is coming off that screen. So the Lakers are going to have their hands full. LeBron James is going to have to show up and show out and do his thing. I'm sure he will, because he knows the superstar status that Ja Morant has achieved. And when he's coming into his city, into his arena, he's going to want to step up and do what he can. So hopefully, like I said, AD doing all these spin arounds on the sideline, celebrating or whatever, then, he needs to come back and play. And if you look at the Lakers, nobody in the starting lineup was even in double digits except for LeBron James. Troy Brown giving you 4. Schroeder giving you 3. 4. 5. Pat Beverly giving you 3. You know what I mean? Like, then meanwhile, the whole Sacramento starting lineup giving you double digits. Harrison Barnes giving you 20. Murray giving you 10. Holmes giving you 16. Herter giving you 18. Fox, of course, giving you the dirty 31. Man, he got the soft touch. I don't know. All them balls sure seemed to bounce in for them last night. And all those balls surely seemed to go in and out for the Lakers yesterday. That's all I'm saying. So, Lakers need to step up their shooting touch. So at the end of the day, man, this is your boy B New. I'm saying right on to the real. Much love to the haters. It is what it is. The Lakers can still prevail. I'm still not worried. Until they mathematically eliminated, I'm not worried. And they got to play in. So it is what it is. OKC is on the rise, but there's other teams that's on the fall. And at the end of the day, the whole thing don't even start until All-Star break. That's when everybody come out, who they're coming gunning. So you better start running. You understand? So right on to the real. Much love to the haters. I'm out.